Hello, Everlasting E-Dog here, and today we are here with Clotho, and Clotho has finally been built up. So I want to show you guys the win team because honestly, me personally, I'm just loving her way more than I'm loving Elaine on the win team. I can't lie. Elaine is a pillar on the Earth team. But when it comes to the Wind team, her DPS was lackluster to me, and her kit, where you just kind of cycled through the abilities, it didn't really do as much damage as you needed to. And for me, I don't like the abilities where they hold something in their fucking hands and they just sit there. So we got Clotho. Now, I didn't go crazy on Clotho. Clotho is just, your average P5. I actually got one extra dupe. Well, yeah, I got one extra dupe after getting her. So nothing too crazy. I know if you really work her abilities, like when you get here, P7, this is what really gives you some crazy stuff. Additionally, inflicts damage wave on enemies. And it keeps going all the way up to the last one at P10. So you really can get kind of crazy with her. I don't know. We might build her out and see what her win team is like. But I'm going to show you guys. Of course, we've maxed out her masteries. Now, let's start off with the engraves here. We have her nice skin because her skin's badass. But we'll start off with the engraves. This engrave is the new the wish set, the one you get from Galland and the one you get from the mines. You can make this engrave right here, and this engrave is specifically for her staff, which is DPS, which we are showing off. We got plus on wind attack and normal attack damage increase, which is actually very good because they're going to be spamming normal attacks with her. Crit chance, crit defense. Crit chance is good, but you'll see through her abilities when we go over them that she is very broken in crit chance and crit damage. Now we get to the passive here, and I only have a level 1. Unfortunately, I got unlucky, but we'll read the passive. The passive's name is Dimensional Expansion. It increases the duration of the Dimensional Awakening by 6 seconds. Awakening an enemy within the durations inflicts dimensional expansion on the target for 20 seconds. Each hit on an enemy with dimensional expansion increases their normal attack damage taken from the caster by 5%, max up to 25%. So as you see, how you really want to run her is you want to pop your dimensional awakenings. You want to inflict stacks on those on when the dimensions expand, and then you just want to spam normal attacks until you stack, and it'll kill it pretty fast, especially when you pop your ult. Now, I do not have an earring for her because I'm out of fucking earrings, and I don't like taking sets off of people. I like building everyone whole. So I was thinking about getting her this ring set earring just so she could get the plus 5% on defense shatter, because why not? Along with the crit damage and crit chance, it's a pretty nice ring to have on her. These earrings, however, are nice and broken, and I actually got a level 2 one for my Escanor, so I gave her my old Escanor one, which is this Resentful Touch, which each hit on an enemy with the burst activated has a 20% chance to inflict additional damage equal to 50% of attack and decrease their crit defense by 5%. So these are great, and especially like I'm honestly going to start farming these because I feel like this is the meta when it comes to attacking with your burst character, because you're lowering crit defense as well as adding additional attack, which I just think stacks on top of each other. And like, say for instance, not really like a Melly or a Diane where they're already doing big damage, but for more like a Escanor or a Clotho where DOT or not super like immediate nuking is normally what I would put these Dark Chaos rings on. So next we go to the weapons, and I got every level weapon level 50, all her legendaries. This book I do want to change for the healing efficiency book whenever it comes out, but for right now she just has a level 50 book. Her rapier is actually nice. I don't really like her burst set moves and attacks with the rapier because it's more of a fencing type of gameplay and style, and I'm not really into that. I like to see my character kind of flash around a bit more. But her rapier does do good bursts. If you don't have a wind burster, I would recommend using her rapier wind burst, and then you can use Elaine DPS. But honestly, if you have a Tristan that's ready to go, P10, You know, I feel like everyone's Tristan should be a little high. Tristan's a common dupe character, but if you max out his masteries, you got a little high Tristan. You get this. See, I got lucky and got level 3 on this. You grab you a little burst set, get his engraven, which increases wind burst efficiency. This passive really sucks. Like, honestly, I feel like it kind of sucks because if we look at Tristan's abilities, I also have max wind burst efficiency on this longsword, which is just a godly pull right here. Godly pull max. But if we look at this, his first skill, it inflicts bleed. And then when you spam these wind thrusts, the burst gauge applied is 240. And so, like, it's way better than this shit, which is 60. I think they should buff this because landing the ultimate move increases the enemy's burst gauge by 60. I land 2 attacks while I land after I land this attack with the bleed, and I get 440 burst gauge. I'm already done bursting, but you're like a sliver away. So this is nice. You can pop the ult and you will get the burst, but it honestly it's just better to swap someone out or just do a couple normal attacks with Tristan. But Tristan's burst is godlike. This build I think is one of the best builds I've seen personally for a Tristan wind burst build, just because of this max 18% longsword as well as my level 3. Now 115 is a little bad. We would have more wind burst efficiency, but min maxing is very difficult right now. Next, we'll move over to Howzer. Now Howzer is also P10. I don't expect you to really have Howzer P10, but you can finish these masteries. This armor set is really goated, I'm not gonna lie. His engraven set is amazing. It's landing the special attack decreases crit defense by 50% for 15 seconds. So his is real easy. You just pop out, you land the special attack, and you get the crit defense. Now, the reason I use his nunchucks is because I have a specific pattern that I use with his nunchucks that I'll go over momentarily. But so you pop the special attack, get the crit defense drop. You also have a 70% chance to stack bleed and some attack on your enemy, which is very nice. I gave him the Galland set because I really didn't know what to give him. Um, I just gave him the Galland set because the HP is nice, along with the barrier is nice when it pops. But the reason why his nunchuck is so powerful to me is first we pop this move, a nice stab stun that will drop crit defense. Next, we get close to the enemy and hold this move to inflict a barrier on ourselves, which is very useful. And then finally, we hit with an ultimate move that also stacks with our weapon. So our weapon has a 20% chance to increase crit chance by 80% for 7 seconds when using the ultimate move. So we can get a little extra crit chance up on him for just a tad seconds, as well as using the ultimate move itself inflicts damage equal to 214% of attack. If the hero has a barrier, however, it decreases the enemy's crit resistance by 15% for 40 seconds. So that's great. So on top of using the special attack to decrease the crit defense by 15 sec by 50% for 15 seconds, when we also use this ability with a barrier, we're decreasing the crit resistance by 15%. So Howzer is basically doing what Daisy with her book does. And so we don't have to have Daisy with her book. We can have Daisy with her wand. And now Daisy with her wand is cracked. And I mean, of course, this is actually her wind set. If you see right here, it says wind attack and crit chance. This is actually her wind engrave that you're supposed to have for this. So her best engrave is the wind engrave. So the wind team becomes even more stacked, but increases all allied heroes crit chance by 10%, and all an allied hero's critical hit on an enemy with reduced crit resistance decreases the target's crit defense by 12. So we're just dropping crit defense, we're dropping crit resistance. This engravement pairs with Howzer and the weapon meta and the armor meta we have, because he will be dropping crit resistance, which will activate this engrave. Tristan will be adding burst and bleed. Howzer can also add bleed, and Clotho is here to clean up all the excess with her nice staff ability. Now, if we look at her staff abilities, Increases wind damage by 25% for 20 seconds. Each time the hero activates Dimensional Wave or Dimensional Tear using the normal skill max of 75%. So every time you pop one of these abilities, you're increasing your wind damage with her already. So that is very nice. Now we'll go over to the wave because I think this is the one you're supposed to pop first. Yes, because it creates a zone which lasts for 7 seconds and inflicts damage equal to 5% of attack to enemies in range every 0.5 seconds, pulling them in towards the center. If the hero 2 instances of normal skill dimensional wave overlap, and it will activate a normal skill dimensional tear. So that's why I said you want to spam the wave twice, because now the zones will combine on each other and you'll get a tear. So once you get this tear, you'll create a zone which lasts 10 seconds, inflicting damage equal to 9% of attack to enemies in range every 0.3 seconds, pulling them in towards the center and afflicting dimensional erosion for 10 seconds. And what does erosion do? Decreases crit defense. Here we go, we're back. So now Clotho also decreases crit defense with her kit naturally. And that's just off of this one ability that you spam twice. That's going to give you all these effects as long as that enemy is in the center and doesn't decide to jump out or has a boss pattern that moves them out. Next, we have Dimensional Enhancement. Now, you want to pop this right after that erosion is popped and the crit defense is lowered, because now you create a zone that will last for 15 seconds. And while you are inside, your crit chance increases by 20% and crit damage by 40%. So that's honestly insane. Using the skill again while the zone is active removes it and creates a new one at the hero's location for 15 seconds. So you can basically move this around to when you need it. So say I use it, I hit the boss a little bit, the boss moves over, I can use the skill again and the zone will activate, it removes and creates a new one with these new effects again. So that is really broken. And then the last thing you want to do is pop her ult. You enter the dimensional awakening state, you get the aura, and you enhance your normal attacks to inflict 14% of attack up to 1,176%, while the stance is maintained with the last hit inflicting damage equal to 72% of the attack. Each hit of the attack decreases the hero's normal skill cooldown by 0.5 seconds, increases the crit damage of enhanced normal skills by 1%, max to 50 times. Enhanced normal attacks have 20% increased crit chance against enemies affected by dimensional erosion. So now you see how her kit just kind of all compounds on each other. It's very nice. One thing I wanted to say about Daisy is her seed bombs are broken. I normally just spam her seed bombs and swap her out. I know she has other things. You can seed enemies and your attacks result in critical hits. The seed bombs drop crit resistance 6% up to a max of 4 times. So we're dropping crit resistance with Daisy when we pull her out, as well as defense and resistance with Howzer and defense with Clotho. All right. And that is the win team. I've been so excited to get the win team, man. I was like, Elaine is just not working for this team. There's just no damage on her. I'm sad they did her like that and made her a win DPS. Honestly, I think they should have made her all support. I don't think they should have gave her DPS. I think they should have made her a win support with like a goated healing win support, because there's no healing win support. There's a fire healing support. There's an earth healing support, I think, or I haven't really experimented with King. Maybe people said his book is healing actually. So there is no her. There is her healing support because Diane has her burst and her nunchucks. So I think if they would have made Elaine like a wind shield, and because you don't want to give her barriers, right? Because Earth already has all the barriers, and the barriers make sense because when you pop Earth Burst, you get a barrier. So adding an Elaine healing wind wand would have been way better. But we're gonna get in and show you guys this boss fight against Galland, because I've had a lot of gripes against Galland Abyss, especially trying with Elaine. Now, we do not have any magic skills, and I won't use any. I'll show you guys the formula on how the win team progresses. The win team is very, if I would say, heavily based on stacking up and doing a lot over time. We're just gonna see, we got the burst here with Tristan. It's very easy to get the burst with Tristan. Very easy when you have pizza and Tristan. I normally pop a health potion there because that whack little move he does. We're gonna drop and get the crit defense with Howzer. Now we can start going with her. There we go. No. Our wind burst went away. And look how fast we got it back with Tristan. I'm telling you. He is goated. Oh, okay. Yep, that was bad. Let's get the barrier with Howzer real fast, and then we'll go back. We can't go back yet. We're gonna go back into our good old girl Clotho. Once you leave me alone here, we're gonna have to get the barrier back. He just pisses me off how much he likes to move. So we're doing very good damage right now. Oh, and I was able to get her out in time. Perfect, perfect. Let's see if we can take him. Oh. See, that's the problem with this. And then her move, so like he just has to be sitting the fuck still. And Galland just doesn't like to do that. As you can see, I've popped the burst on him like several times, and he just hasn't sat still for me this match. So I feel like it's been a really bad representation of what I'm trying to do here. But you guys get the idea. If he would sit the fuck still, it would be way easier. Oh, and I'm petrified. I might die. Damn. All right, so Galland's a prick. We're gonna run it back real fast. There's a little bit of not paying attention there. We actually have the stats, so the stack, so we can do what we wanted to do with Howzer originally. Because this is the actual plan for Howzer. You want to pop this ult right when he strikes down, so you don't take no damage and you still have your barrier. And then you see what we're already working with. I did not grab the bleed, unfortunately, but it seems like Howzer inflicted bleed actually, so it doesn't matter. There we go. Now we're gonna get Clotho. He decided to spam and run away. Look at that. Look at that. I'm telling you. Can't sit still. What the fuck? There we go. And now we shred. Now we shred. Shred and pray. Shred and pray. Hey, this gives you a little bit of movement to get away from his shit. There we go. All right, and then we repeat. And we repeat. There we go. This is a much better run. Okay. There he goes. There he goes. And see, Clotho's build, the only problem with Clotho's build is like the enemy kind of needs to sit still, man. Like, I need you to sit still. And honestly, this is when I should be spamming right now. Is when he actually sits still. Pop this barrier. Pop this barrier. Pop a daisy. All right, we'll try to wait for him to sit still. Are you gonna do like a petrify thing? Oh, perfect, perfect. Time to go. Now you spam. There we go. There we go. Big damage. Big damage. I think we can spam him away. I think we can finish him. There we go. And with that, Clotho takes him down. 237? 237 is not bad. not bad, especially if you wanted to do win team. I couldn't even beat this with a lane. I did have to pop a potion, but all in all, I think the team is very like concise and cohesive. You really can't get a good gauge on how fast I just rate through the boss, and that's only really because I can't get him to stay still. You know what I mean? I can't get him to stay still, so it's very bad. Now, honestly, I should have got the box there, but I have no keys. So now I have a five. I have a five key. There is one more enemy that she is able to destroy, and I have not tried her in the spider. So we'll be back and we'll try her in the spider. You know, I've realized that in order to go through spider, I can't have the full win team because Tiori has to be in the heal, and Tiori is not ready to be in the abyss dungeon. So it looks like we're gonna have to end this video off with that Galland boss fight. Now this win team is goated, and when Time Sector 3 comes out, we will be using this win team right here to destroy that time sector. So thank you for sticking around this far in the video. If you are at this far in the video, comment 23 in the comments, and you might get a special prize for actually getting this far. But thank you for getting out here, and thank you for watching this video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back for some more 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Peace.